Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. I recently took third in Jolly Carp, but it is a podium. This thing is really, really difficult. Yeah, believe this or not, that is the first time I've ever podiumed a Jolly Carp. I have tried a ton. I'm very good, as you guys well know that follow along the channel, with mixes and that sort of thing. But that's just kind of the way fishing goes. We do have lot of great players, and sometimes the computer is just against you. We all know that. But in the event you needed to set up, I do like this Empress. I will show this thing in action versus the Leviathan's okay, but I actually like this for the recovery on it. It's 47 inches. My buddy Big Legit a long time ago had mentioned that he thought that flat feeders worked fairly well as regards to not rolling versus maybe a carp sinker or whatever else you might want to throw on there. But just wanted to note that. Now, as far as the baits, it just all depends on what you want to do. But let's go over here to the mixes. Those are the main baits that I usually like. Here's my Lake Flaccid mix. I will also show this, and this is if you want to fool. And this is basically my baby flaccid mix. I use this for sturgeon or at extravaganza as well to multiply the carp. But this is a smaller mix, so I figured I'm going to go ahead and try that. But that's basically just a slimmed down version of my Lake Flaccid. In the event that you did not know how to go over there, you can go to metric. Anytime you want to convert that, simply to redirect you to the screen, come back. But this is what these mixes look like for all my friends that are in metric. That's the full mix. Now here's the mix that I used in the upcoming run. This should help you guys out. What I was thought process was there was just so I could hit more spots, reducing my spot time. Again, you can try this for yourself, but I just wanted to have a walk along here for anybody that's kind of confused on Jolly Carp. I'm sure it's overwhelming when you first start, but I'm going to try to walk you through here. Starting here at Arbor Lake is kind of usually where I do start. General rule of thumb, I try to get spot each lake. In other words, you want at least 30 minutes time, real time, to come back. So generally speaking, you want to spot each lake, no matter where you go. One spot per each lake, probably every 30 minutes to get your uniques out in the event that you did not know that, or at least a strategy to follow. There's another spot as well, but that is a longer walk. So I do just, generally speaking, when I start my Jolly Carp, I normally start here. And then from there, I will normally go to over here, right here at this spawn point, take a right. You'll look for that big tree there in the background to the right corner of your screen there, you'll see. And then I'll fast forward here in a second and just kind of show myself. But if you see that screen or that sign right there, you're going the right way. And then just walk past around that tree, you'll see this little bridge, as well as this is where I use my grass cutter, and you'll see in the upcoming my run, I actually catch a nice grass carp as well. Now you could probably spot a little closer, but if you zoom in on here on the mini map, once you pull your map up, like I said, you could spot closer if you want and just clip your line, that sort of thing. But you'll see there's a little deep edge there, so that's why I normally spot out a little farther. Not saying that you can't shorten that. I usually do a little bit, but not too much. And you'll see that in the upcoming clip. But there's a good grass carp spot as well. He's a nice universal spot. You guys have seen this spot before as well on my grass cutter guide. This is another great spot. Again, look for those two trees, walk through the two trees, come down here. Same kind of a thing, but this is a really short spot. Now, I do sometimes use this spot over here. You'll notice, again, when I zoom in on this map, it's just a nice deep spot. I don't really think it matters particularly where you spot, but you can spot over there. Just out of convenience, I spot here. Also, just kind of last, another spot that I usually like to try is down over here. But you'll notice here on this other spot that I'm going to take you to, that the Cave Lake, it's a great spot as well. But you'll notice here that this, for whatever reason, it's odd, but when I will zoom in on here in this in a second, you're going to notice, as well as for the Lucky Ghost comp, you'll notice this left side, for whatever reason, I seem to get good ghost carp on this left side, and you'll see a couple marks in event for the ghost, but it seems like this right side more so will usually favor. Now, you could shorten that up as well if you wanted to, but I've got a lot of good ghost carp over here in that area. Now, the mirrors and the leathers I normally get on this side could be just in my head, but nonetheless, I wanted to mention that. Now, this spot over here is special to me, but for whatever reason in Jolly Carp, you'll see even in the run that I put up, it lets me down again. I may not even use this, but I just want to throw something in. But over here, it doesn't show on the mark, but that was my first 100-pounder in this area. Well as another leather spot right here if you really wanted it. Again, I'm kind of walking through the run. You want to throw out your entire mix. As you will see here, I did throw out this entire mix, but as a smaller mix, it does save a lot of time. As you notice there by the timestamp, I'm only 5 minutes in. I've already got my spod mix out, and you'll see that It doesn't take me long to catch one. Now, I think here in this particular run, I kind of made a mistake, a couple mistakes here. I'll show you this here first. We'll let this fish bite here. But as you can see, that was a smaller mix. And, just also to illustrate the Empress and the setup, you can max drag that briefly if you wanted to. You don't want to destroy your entire reel. And I do hope they keep this in the game. Whether they fine-tune it or not, that is fine. But it does help you, and I'll show you at the end of the clip why it's important that this is in the game. It's not something that... I hope now that they've had this and added this, and I think most of you guys will agree, especially in competitions, it does help when you need that clutch fish. But in the event there, that was a smaller mix, as you can see, got an 87-pound mirror. Now here, pay close attention to this. There's, a lot of people, as you can see, it's cool when you can select because you want to shoo a fish away. Now watch, I shoo that fish away. As it swims off, if you're not getting a bite, pay attention closely here. I got 85, right? So if you sit here, this has happened to me before. Special thanks to John Palauis, I think, had mentioned this to me once he'd watched me. Wasn't getting a bite, but be careful. See there, that thing had actually stolen my bait. If I would have just left that out there, I just wouldn't have anything spawning. So do be aware of that. If you're trying to cycle through and scare off the fish that you don't want to catch, make sure that they haven't ran off with your bait, leaving you with a bare hook. Also expect this. This happened to you a lot in Jolly Carp. It will drive you crazy. The swimways. Wow, there was my leather. Also, just kind of moving here on the next spot again. I shorten that up a little bit. Whatever you spot to now, try to get your line clip about that same area. Now this isn't obviously a scoring fish, but nonetheless, it's off of a small mix. I got a nice 72-pound grass carp, saving me time to kind of cycle through here. Again, just kind of showing you the power of this rod and reel setup. It does work extremely well. Not even really max dragging or anything, but I just wanted to make you aware that I do set this up, and like the Empress, over the Leviathan a lot better in my opinion. Not saying the Leviathan won't work for you, but for me, I think the Empress works extremely well on the best carp rod currently in the game. I think it's a great setup, and you can max drag it as well, considering it is under the carp leader size. So you can full click that if that makes any sense to you. Moving on over here, I'm just kind of rotating out, just trying to, you have to have a thought process too. Do you want to try to get one or two carp out? That's entirely up to you. Now those common carp can get up there a little ways, but the podium in this, you kind of, most of the time, you're going to need 5 80-pounders. 5 80-pounders to get to that 400-pound range, and then go from there and hope that your score holds up. As you can see, I rotate over here, throw my entire mix out here, and hoping for a little bit bigger of a mirror. I do, obviously, once you be able to distinguish which fish species you have, of course, the leather are a little darker. The mirror seem to have those little stripes, so to speak, kind of a two-tone color. I did get a decent mirror. They do get a lot bigger. Nonetheless, I go ahead and pull in a common, and so that's 2 oversized, and then this big boy leather comes in here. I've also noticed something too, could be in my head. I've had a lot of luck with tiger nut, kind of singling out the leather. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but for me, I think tiger nut, for whatever reason, does seem to help get the leather. I'm not 100% foolproof, but again, maybe just in my head. But it's showing you this mix again. That is indeed what I'm mixing up, is my baby flaccid mix. Really well-rounded mix. Even sunny weather, cloudy weather, usually doesn't matter. It does work really well. Now I come over here, and this is the spot I was telling you about. This spot pretty much just let me down. I had some swim-offs, but nonetheless, I did waste quite a bit of time. But again, instead of spotting out 6 to 8 minutes on a full mix, I thought I would do something a little different. But again, to each their own. If you want to throw an entire bigger mix, go ahead. But I just wanted to give you a walkthrough on this. This one can be somewhat troublesome, especially for the newer players out there that are learning to spot. But I wanted to make sure that I had this up here, especially with the club series, hopefully starting at some point here. But just a quick review in the net there. At this point, I'm looking for my 5th smallest fish, so I know I can gain 13 pounds or so if I can get an 80 to 85 pounder, which could potentially get me in a podium, or at the very least top 5. So I am running out of time here, and I go ahead and spot this last spot with around 4 minutes left. Again, with a 3.5 to 4 minute spot time, that does save me a lot of time versus, all those little things do add up in this situation. Also, this is a perfect example while reel shredding. Some people may frown on it, but it is part of the game, and you should be able to max drag, and get that clutch fish when you need it. Especially here in these competitions, that does really help a lot. to be able to pull your fish in. This fishing planet seems to keep changing and altering and that sort of thing. I don't know if they'll ever get it exactly where they want it. It does seem to change every 2 months or so, but nonetheless, there is a nice clutch fish off of a smaller mix. I hope this guy helps you guys out. Take care, and we'll see you again in the next one.